All right, the property prequel, be in the know before you buy. Guys and girls, thanks so much for all the amazing feedback. Last ep, we had Zed Nasheed from Melbourne. He was up on the Gold Coast. They're obviously opening their franchise up here. That was one of our most listened to episodes, and I can't see, it doesn't surprise me, his showmanship, the way he goes about things. He was actually a lot different than what I expected as well. You see him on social media and what he's doing online to promote himself, but very humble beginnings from war-torn Afghanistan and to way he's gone into entrepreneurship. If you haven't listened to it, give it a listen and let me know your thoughts. But this week I thought it's always one of our most listened to episodes when we get just some everyday mum and dad battlers doing really good things in property, and I've been keeping a close eye on these guys for a while. They're doing some amazing things in South East Queensland, in Brisbane market in particular. So we do get a lot of Gold Coast listeners, but also a lot in Queensland. So this will be cool to understand the Brizzy market as well. But most importantly, what I want to chat about is their design, and how they're applying what they're learning into action, because I get so many mums and dads or, boyfriend, girlfriend starting the journey. They want to get in this space. So if you're thinking of getting in this space, crank it up. Get ready to get some tips off two of the best. So we got Becky and Francisco Smout from Smout Property, and they're based in Brisbane. But they're actually got them at a great time. They're on the Gold Coast. They're looking tanned. Is that how you enjoying the Gold Coast, guys?
Yeah, it's great.
Weather's amazing, isn't
yeah,
it?
weather's amazing.
Just turned it on at
Catching
the moment.
the last of summer.
Yeah, yeah.
Water temp's still up. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for jumping on, guys.
No, thanks for having us.
As I mentioned, I really love what you guys are doing with Smout Property. So if you haven't heard of these guys, you're under a rock, but check out Smout. What's the handle?
Yeah, so it's Smout_property.
Yeah, just check out the stuff, and then you can listen now. So you've got the authority. These guys know their stuff. So I guess
very, very kind of you.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
No.
Yeah, we're just doing our thing, and yeah, it's always nice when people appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing. It's some people think people who are in this space and doing a thing, what I've noticed is they're just everyday people, but they've applied some simple habits or some key learnings, or, we were just chatting off air, like it's been 12 or so years, has it? Yeah. So there'd be a lot of wisdom in that for sure, people who are wanting to get in the space. So I always like to start, firstly, where are you guys from? Are you from Queensland, Brizzy?
Yeah, we're both Brisbane.
Born and bred.
Yeah.
Real. Whereabouts?
So I grew up on the western suburbs, good old Kenmore.
Oh, yeah.
Fig Tree Pocket, Kenmore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. What about
I was Southside, Annerley. Yeah.
Annerley, yeah. I was Forest Lake.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah. So Indooroopilly was our hangout.
Yeah,
Touched the 460, and
nice.
we just hang out at Indooroopilly Shopping Centre.
I was the 430.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I always like to get a bit of a background, and then so school, local, obviously in Brizzy. Where were the career paths back then? Where were you thinking you were going to be?
Well, I went to girls' school in inner city Brisbane, or Hallows, and from there, both my parents were teachers, so naturally that's just something I grew up with, teachers around me and education, and that's what I fell into. So I was a school teacher for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and during that time I always had something going on the side. I always knew that I needed something else, some other outlet. I always had some sort of creative thing going on. And I ended up doing a real estate course during that time as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. Well, I was a teacher and just always had to keep myself busy doing something else. And when we met, I was looking for my first investment as well. So
styling, investment.
Yeah. So that kind of thing. Cake decorating. I was doing fashion styling.
Okay.
Yeah, just always looking for something
Had the
else.
aesthetic sort of.
Correct.
You either got it or you don't, eh? I reckon the aesthetic kind of.
They say that. Yeah, I'm very interested in it and I love it. So I think that definitely helps when you love it. So.
Yeah. Okay. And what about yourself, Francisco?
So born and bred Brizzy. I went to BBC and then straight on to good old UQ. And I guess I had always wanted to do property. Yeah. And my parents did property. So I studied at UQ, studied real estate and development.
Okay,
and I guess that course was good for me because it can go anywhere in terms of val or development, and so I started off and trained as a valuer, property valuer.
Yes.
And I think pretty early on, I was like earning 22 grand a year. Yep. It was not really setting the world on fire in my books, and I was just, the fax machine at the time was just endlessly pumping out reports. So so I decided it wasn't for me, and made that jump to project management, and that was a whole new world in terms of building and construction. So I started off down that path of wanting to become a project manager. So I was in the trenches as a contract administrator, and probably spent 5 years learning that as a new trade almost. So I guess coming from the raw real estate and development side to then couple that with the built form and the construction side was something I didn't really expect but really enjoyed, and then had the opportunity to go from there to the Middle East and worked over in Dubai for 3 years as well.
Okay.
So worked on some big stuff and came back.
Wow. Straight away, it seems like there's a pretty good little background there, a bit in the project management, construction, aesthetics. I didn't know too much about your background, but straight away you can sort of see the link and where you are now. So where did property fit into it? Like you said, was in the family, was it, or was it?
No, I think, as you know, it's good to diversify when you've got a full-time job.
So you're teaching and
just teaching and knew that you teaching wasn't going to get me where I wanted to get. I enjoyed what I did, but always was more ambitious to have something else going on, and knew that property or shares or doing something with your money was useful. So property was always something that appealed to me. I knew there was value in that and having it as well. So as I said, just before we met, I was looking for my first property, wanted to get into it, did my real estate course, didn't ever want to be a real estate agent. I
just wanted to learn.
Not for me, but just wanted to learn and immerse myself in that. And then we met. We didn't even really bond over real estate initially, but luckily we both had this passion for it. Otherwise, that wouldn't have worked out, would it?
Yeah, well, I think what you just mentioned, those complementary skill sets, we didn't really know, at the time. And then, so I was doing, I'd bought an apartment, I'd renovated that, straight out of uni pretty much. As soon as I got a full-time paying job, I bought an apartment.
Nice.
And it was on my 22K a year, and I think that was 190 grand.
What suburb?
Indooroopilly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like a brick
60s walk up.
60s
walk up.
60
Love it.
square meters. Yeah.
Smart.
If only I kept the arches back then.
Smart.
I knocked them all out.
Yeah. How many was in the block?
6-pack.
Oh.
Yeah, 6-pack.
Oh.
Yeah. It was gold. It was gold. So look, so I did that and then built equity, went overseas, saved some cash, and then came back and bought an 810 Queenslander.
Yep.
Wanted, I guess, to buy something with upside, and then we met, and I was midway through that renovation and knew I'd found the one when she was gapping VJs.
And you just sort of secured your first investment property,
when we met, then obviously Francisco had this backing, thank you, honey, behind him with the apartment and bought the house, and so I came along and helped him with that renovation journey.
Unreal.
Then,
so it started way back then, really, kind of organically.
Yeah. Look, it was honestly very organic, and it just was. It wasn't. We didn't really plan on that. It just kind of happened, and realised that we both loved it. And we were the ones out there spray painting the fences, and you YouTubed how to render walls. And
wow. So you were on the
we were on the tools back then. For sure.
Wow. Yeah. How old would you been when that would happen?
I would have been when I bought the apartment, I would have been 23, and then renovated that. Yeah, probably 22, 23.
Yeah.
And then when I got back from overseas. And we met when I was 29, so I was
I was 26.
Yeah, so you were in your 20s.
In our 20s,
That right there, I love that, because we do get people who are younger demographic as well listen, and they love it. Like I get a lot of inquiry from people who are so hungry in their 20s, and they see people like yourself that they aspire to. So I love just hearing that there. 20-year-olds just having a crack. So it can start. It can start in the earlier. I mean, you testify this, Francisco, for sure. The best time to buy was generally yesterday. Like
absolutely,
you know what I mean? Could have blown your money there at young 20s.
That's it. And I think
really got you ahead. That apartment, doubled in money. That was a lot of money when you bought it, but hung on to it, doubled his money, and then saved when you went and worked in Dubai. Just
That's
saved a really
Could have been
great
at the
deposit.
UQ bar 2 times a week.
That's it.
You know?
He still did that.
They shut it when I was
He
there.
still did that.
It was shut, so I had all this extra cash. Mind you, it was $1 drinks back then.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheap. So look, I think that equation, just work hard, study, work hard and save. I was putting everything I could, and I could have blown everything in the Middle East, and I just made sure I saved hard.
Awesome.
And then came back, and it was all about building that equity, and I think starting was the most important thing. Starting, buying well, and then building equity over time, and that enabled then the second property that I bought, and then that gave us that really stable base to be buying our next place, and then I think that the next part of the journey sort of begins in terms of us meeting, understanding that skill set, and then developing that.
Key thing there, I just wanted to highlight. I just heard you say they're buying well, and probably one of my biggest feedback tips to young buyers, especially. And young buyer can be 40 and under. Some people are just starting in their 40s as well, but anywhere from teenager to 40, there's a bit. The first one is generally the one you want to buy well. And I always say anyone can buy property, but the difference between just buying a property or buying it well is, as you know, it is huge in terms of when you understand what equity is, when you understand supply and demand. If you're buying a good asset, that's why I love, like, you ticked all the boxes, like land bank opportunity, low density, not looking at the shiny high rises, manufacture your own equity through renovation. So it's the key fundamental. It sounds basic, but if you buy well early, it is like a compound effect, isn't it? It's huge compound.
Yeah. And I think understanding all those indicators, but when you put the sweat in to build that deposit, you know, buying well is just exactly that compounding effect, because otherwise you're losing that.
Well, I heard this one the other day. Only 22% of Australians own more than, or have secured and own more than 2 properties. Wow. So what that tells me is a lot of people get it wrong early, whether it's just they're not getting the right advice and then, as you know, if you buy the wrong one first, it's hard to get into it. It's really hard to keep saving up cash each time.
And I think to that LVR piece and making sure that you're just keeping that manageable. Obviously, in the current environment, it's absolutely in the headlines in terms of cost of debt. What is it? Tripled in the last 12 months. So, and increased at a higher rate than it ever has before. So, I think now it's still very affordable, I think, at the moment, and it will. Our call is that it's peaked. Mind you, they just the 25
little basis increase.
Basis increase wasn't really too well.
I don't think anyone picked that.
No. And I think, to the macro in terms of that rest of the world, they're all slowing.
100%.
Well.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. So just rewind that again, just for anyone looking for that fundamental first one, why it is key. So why it is some key little takeaways there if you are subject to unit. Land to asset ratio is one we always mention. Yes.
Absolutely.
That's a big one. The value's in the land, not the shiny tap and the, so I love pack of 6, pack of 4, pack of 8. One of my best ever performers was a pack of 8 walk up. No body corp, low body corp, no barbecue, tennis court areas. Just keep it simple, and then manufacture your own equity in, buy brand new. So some key takeaways there for anyone looking to start off. All right, so you've fast forward. Now you guys are a couple. Things are going well. You're like, I'm vibing. She's in the same things I'm into. Did you have kids early on in the piece, or
no?
Relatively late.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 kids, 3 and a 4. So 4, 3 and 1 at the moment. Yeah. So it's busy at the moment.
Cool. So what age were your first parents?
How?
33.
33.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There's another myth broken. All those women in the need to go at 25. Just it's all good.
No, we're thankful now because we were able to prioritize property and get ahead, and then have our family, which they've still had to move house before, and we're still renovating around them. It's not always perfect, but we're glad we got that head start.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And so you've sort of gone in the Queenslander one, so you moved into that one, and then where did it start to feel like you guys really like it's nearly becoming like a hey, let's combine our skill set and make this something? Or was it still just what a lot of people do is like, hey, let's buy and renovate and sell and see what happens? Or
look, it was pretty extended time frames. I think all we were doing at the time was
trying to get a nicer house.
Yeah, just trying to get a nicer house, do some renovating, and then build equity. We weren't. It was over, a 3 horizon.
Yep.
We'd bought we'd bought a larger land holding.
Yes.
We'd bought
in a city.
Yeah.
And so there was all those fundamentals you just mentioned.
Yep.
We would just hit and then renovate, and then we moved to our next place, and we did the same
we can get
thing.
something nicer, and we build equity now. We can
it.
move here now. So we built up to get to the point where we're living in a suburb we love, which is beautiful, and we're able to do that over time. And as you said, we were both working full time, doing this on weekends. So it was a hard slog, and we did. It was. We had to stop a few overseas holidays.
Sweat equity.
It was.
Sweat
it really was.
And then I think, people started to really, vibe that aesthetic piece that we were delivering and really respected, I guess, Beck's,
in terms of the buyers, buyer feedback.
So the buyer feedback was, I think that Beck's style piece and then my construction and that detailing piece, people would always walk into our space and go, "Oh, this is really nice," you know. And I think it was a lot that goes into making it a nice space, and there was those fundamentals we'd always never compromise on. And so we had land holding. I was
going to say, give us a quick, for anyone listening who wants to get in the space, what were the key fundamentals you'd look at going into a deal with the end in mind of like, hey, we might flip this?
Yeah, look, I think the first question is, would you buy it? And us looking.
We always want to buy where we'd want to live. We
Love it.
we go, that's where I would want to live.
Owner-occupier appeal.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we always buy in places we love.
Key tip there.
Yeah. And, being Brisbane, very character suburbs, inner cities. So they're always
blue chips kind of,
blue chips. They're always Queenslanders that you need to renovate. So we looked at the bones and how we can work with that.
Cool.
Is it a big land holding? Location.
Land holding, you meaning size of parcel of land?
Yeah,
Love
parcel
it.
of land size, how close to the city. Yeah, what we can do with it. So, running a feasibility and saying, where do we see this ending up and what can we do with this?
Yeah.
And running those different scenarios up front, being critical, not sugarcoating anything. If you're wishing for something to happen, it's not going to happen. You've got to be very realistic about that and hit that sweet spot. And I think that's what we've developed over time, is really understanding where we are with that feasibility, what's reasonable to assume.
Yes.
And then I think the other really big thing is just knowing the market absolutely intimately well. So what are the good streets?
Yes.
What are the good builds?
Yeah.
What can we achieve?
We've lived on all sides of Brisbane, all inner city within a 5 kilometre ring, but all around Brisbane. And I think now we focus on the inner north. And I think for anyone who wants to get into this is, as you said, know your market, know your area inside out. Our area we work in, we know every street, every house, every price that house is sold for, when it's sold, how much it's sold for. So when we get a call from an agent, we know exactly what house they're talking about, and we can move quickly. And I think our last 4 purchases were off market because, we like to buy well and you need to get in. So if we have that knowledge already done, our finances sorted and beat the competition, we can capitalise on that. And that's what we're able to do. So, definitely know your market, know your niche, and know everything going on.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. So, some really big key ones there. Love it. As I said, we didn't chat off camera around your principles, but everything you're saying really applies to. So, if you are wanting to get in the space, rewind and listen to some of that. Key things I took away was one of my favourite quotes, and it sounds like you guys agree. Location does 80% of the heavy lifting.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems like you want to. I love like the ring. Like a lot of astute people use that term. So for any key takeaway, it's always like here on the Gold Coast, it's like your inner, middle ring, outer ring. Like it sounds like you're always staying within a radius of the CBD. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
And a key reason for that is, I guess, for people is that demand factor, right? Like
Correct.
People want to be close where it. And there's a reason why you can buy a cheaper house and land brand new in the sticks versus, it's a supply and demand thing as well.
Yep.
Sounds like land to asset ratio was important for you guys. It seemed like you always, what sort of square, was there sort of like a cutoff, what was too small of a lot in some of these blue chip suburbs you're looking in?
We were always looking to add value or subdivide.
Yeah.
So that's why land was so important for us.
Interesting.
So we'd look at, from a feasibility and DA perspective,
if we could subdivide this, what would this get us?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then once it's subdivided, what we could achieve in terms of that yield.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think, as you say, the inner north, like Brisbane's that concentric city because the CBD, Goldie's different. But I think when we say that 5K ring, it's just purely around that, not over-capitalising the location, connectivity. And then I think what you've seen now in the post-COVID market is that everything in a city is jumped.
Yes.
Whereas before it was sort of pockets isolated within that inner city, which were the premium suburbs.
Yep.
Whether that was a Paddington or a Hawthorn or a New Farm.
Yep. And it's that ripple effect, isn't it? That's what I'm noticing with Brisbane and the Gold Coast is some of those affluent ones, you get the gentrification uplift and then it ticks over. Like I still follow the Brizzy market. We don't buy up there, but I'm from there, but I'm noticing even those Cooperoos and Mount Gravats and stuff, they're starting to, they were the pits back in the day.
Yeah.
Now they're killing it.
Heights,
The
ones just further out are all just skyrocketing.
So that tells me there's a bit of a ripple effect happening.
Ripple.
Yeah, look, I think if you then go, say, to the 10K ring, you're still, not maybe the 20K ring, if you're doing a project build in those outer suburbs, they're still great builds. But if you then bring that, in 10Ks, you're still spending $1 million on a build, right?
Yes.
So $1 million on a build, whether you're doing that at 10Ks or you're doing it at 5Ks, I think that's the differentiator we're seeing. So the likes of the Wable Heights or the Cannon Hills are absolutely right for that knockdown rebuild.
Love it. Love it. And it sounds like to me then, I heard the term used, over-capitalise. Yes. What I'm putting together there is you like to go hard, but you made sure it's in where the demand for that.
Safe.
So what I'm hearing is you wouldn't go all out in a suburb, maybe 15 to 30 Ks out. Is that what you mean by over-capitalise, I'm assuming?
Yeah, definitely. Look, we like to build of a standard that
not
is
just a spec.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're customised. We really spend the time and effort ourselves to really fine-tune. Like there's huge amount, as you said it up front, like you got to love this and you got to make it almost your hobby, right? So we're investing so much time and effort in getting this right. It's a customized process. So let's realize that value that we're trying to bring.
Love it.
And if we're doing that with everything pre-selected, in the outer suburbs for what was a 300K build, now it's probably a 500K build, but still a 500K build is not going to achieve what floats our boat in terms of our interest, but also that price point.
The premium as well. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I just want to quickly touch on some micro factors. I heard you say there. I love it. There's pockets within pockets. So I always say this to some of the people we work with, just the postcode, but then within that postcode, there's more affluent streets. There's better pockets. There's certain aspects of a street. Give us some of your key micro things. You mentioned streets important. Is there any other things you looked at on a micro level that you that would tick a lot of boxes for you when coming into a potential project?
Yeah, well, as I said, definitely streets. Even in our area, for example, you can be 100 metres away and what you'd achieve can be $1 million difference. It's incredible. So knowing those streets and knowing those places. Just in terms of how close you are, whether you're close to, say, an area with lots of units or, is it more of a tree line street, is a wide street, density. Whether it's amenity, we've got coffee shops around us and parks and how close you are to those. So walkability. How far away are you from that density build up?
So you like to stay more the owner ox, nice.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, we
Love
do.
it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, that's
it's not too busy. Yeah. So it seems like you're really appealing to the owner occupier.
Correct.
Like that, the affluent, makes a lot of sense.
We tried to do an investment for us, just a long-term hold lease, and people came along midway through and offered us an offer.
We sold that off Instagram, actually. That one. So,
wow.
The power of Instagram.
Yeah. Wow. So look, we tried to do investment. Yeah, but exactly like Beck said. And I think it's understanding how the suburbs tick as well. So, you know, like a Fig Tree Pocket where it's, you know, full, you know, it's contained and there's nowhere else to go down the end of the pocket versus what you're talking about in Ascot, which especially while Kingston Smith Drive was getting done, such a through suburb for traffic. So, you know, one street can be almost a freeway versus a very quiet street. So there's absolutely, understanding how those suburbs tick. And,
and we live there, so we live it and see it and understand it as well. So that's important too, to understand those factors.
Love that. Yeah, it's a big one. I always say to people who aren't familiar with the coast, like there's streets like, you know, check it at school zone is school time because it's a thorough, you know, and then you got the connector road that people avoid. So then all of a sudden this back street becomes very busy. And then I've worked with some buyers and that's a non-negotiable. They're like, no, I'm not. Doesn't matter how good the property is. So again, location does 80% of the heavy lifting. And it sounds like if there's advice from these guys, it's not just macro, it's you got to get micro on your location choice. Yeah. So it sounds like you
buyers are educated in that way. With you know, they get it and they do. Yeah, they do.
They do. And it's very personal. Yeah. Where am I? This is where I want to live. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Paying that money, of course, you can afford to be fussy. I don't want this, I want this, So it's not just about having the nice house, but where is it and how's this going to suit my needs? Yeah.
So some key really big tips there is macro level on the city stage, the middle ring, outer ring, you know, where's your build cost versus what the demand is there. And then you got to go micro, streets, busy roads. Is one going to be a busy road because another one, you know, of flow through traffic? Tram lines and things happening on the Gold Coast. Some roads now are going to be affected by the tram line. So get micro. It sounds like you guys keep up to date with what's happened in the Brizzy market pretty regularly. And
we do.
Yeah. And I'll just add to that too. Like I think we're really conscious of that macro as well. So especially when you're trying to punch a price point and you're trying to do something which, you know, for us, we kind of, I don't know why we find ourselves in this position.
We make it hard on ourselves.
Yeah, look, we're always trying to
top dollar and deliver smaller blocks and high-end properties.
Products that are, not in the market. So it's always difficult when a valuer is saying to you, where's the comparables? But look, I think it's things like premium apartments. I mean, it's just, there's an absolute, the Gold Coast is just cutting edge in terms of what's being delivered at the moment, and Brisbane's seeing that resurgence now. But, you know, what rates of sale are doing, you know, how is construction escalation impacting now that market specifically?
Market. Because you're right.
What you're seeing right now is going to be the tipping point where, you know, people were paying whatever it was, 20 grand a metre, that's now 25, and now they're going to have to pay 30 or 35 to get the same product because of that escalation factor. So I think, you know, when we're then in premium res, and yes, it's a different scale, but, you know, understanding who's paying what and how that's being impacted.
Yeah, mate, some killer tips in that one. Now, you're doing some things and you're learning that, hey, we're doing well, like you would have done a few projects and they're selling for good prices. Did it sort of click then of like, hey, we should make this like a business, for yourself? Or
I think organically over time we're like, wow, we love this. We talk about this a lot and we do this a lot, and and that passion just grew and grew over the years, and we realized that this is what we wanted to do. And
awesome.
When I had my first baby, I quit teaching then, and so now I juggle running our business and looking after 3 children under 4. So it's busy, but we absolutely love it, and this is what we were meant to do. This is the space you want to be in. Just
in that, because real estate's a strong investment vehicle, flip, buy, hold, whatever. How did that feel like? Because it's the ultimate, isn't it? People want to escape the 9 to 5, or like they might love what they're doing, but they know there's a passion project or something now there. Like, how was that for you?
And I think, lucky, Francisco's was more the breadwinner. I was at home, being the stay-at-home mum. So we had his income, but where was I going with that? I think the safety net of having him is important. And definitely when you're developing, I know people say, I want to do what you do, I want to be a developer, but it's cash flow is king, and it's really important that you have that going, because, you know, your paycheck comes when you sell that property. But you need to have that, you need to pay for that and, renovate. And so you need to have this, and especially when you're borrowing money from a bank. You need to show that you're having
serviceability,
income. Serviceability is huge.
Good tip. So, great tip.
You definitely, and that's why we worked so hard. We did this for, I worked 8 years full-time as a teacher while we were developing. Yep. So I couldn't exit any earlier until we built up to that point where, yes, I could quit my job, and I'm very fortunate for that. So that came with a lot of hard work. But yeah, definitely, just being able to say, I quit my job, I want to be a developer, it's very, you have to start start thinking differently about, well, where's my cash flow coming from?
Love
Do
it.
I need to complement this with something else, whatever that is? And obviously Francisco's skill set in project management is perfect because it lends itself for what we're doing. But yeah, that's a big takeaway, I think, is, most people want to do what we do and want to quit their job, but just start. I think definitely while you have that income and have a full-time job is the best time to start.
Love it.
Yeah, look, I think that finance equation you touched on is critical, and I think understanding how you're going to fund projects.
Yes.
And then
it's a finance game, hey?
It's a finance game, and when we're catching up with other developers, everyone says the same thing. It's all about finance. It's all about structuring that finance, and I think just understanding, for us personally, that's how we've been able to manage it. But others do it completely differently. So I think it comes down to that risk profile piece too. And I think we've just found we're in a groove, which we found what works for us. But I guess the current market's really challenging for a lot of people. So
two key things I heard there is it's a long game. I do hear, like, everyone's got the ambition and, Matt, we want to get in the property. I'm keen to quit my job in 12 months, first project, like, let's do it. I can tell you hand on hand, you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. What was it, 8 to 10 years? Like, if you want to quit overnight and you think this flipping thing's going to happen, the sad story is it's not. It takes sweat equity. It takes hard work.
Yeah,
it does.
Yep.
And the last piece was one of my favourite lines. It's a game of finance. Yeah, like, people get understanding on, like, how it works. Like, just talk to people like Smout Property to understand it, or brokers and stuff. Because if you can't fund the project, it doesn't matter how good you are in site acquisition and design. Like, it's a finance game, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Get yourself into a bit of trouble. Yeah. Things go wrong or interest rates go up. So that's the key. And we always, we're quite risk adverse. We take educated risks and know that if something happened, what is the worst case scenario that can come out of this?
Yep.
Are we still going to be okay?
Yep.
And that's how we take our risks, moving forward.
And we'll run that scenario in our FISOs up front, and we're not, we need to be, we're critical in that process.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I was going to say, I love what you said around risk adverse. What's your key tips there? Or what's, 1 to 2 things that you really, when you're doing your FISO, that you really plug in and analyse to make sure, hey, non-negotiable, we need to kind of trim the fat here, or, is there anything within your FISO?
And revenue, cost and revenue. I think what we've just seen with interest rates, construction costs, but also retail. Sometimes we don't know what we're going to buy.
Yeah, well, we always put worst case. What could this go for if things were flatlined or the market wasn't booming? What would be worst case?
And when we had that exact equation on one of our houses, mid-COVID, like, it was
we sold a house just when the whole world was shutting down.
Wow.
Yeah. No inspections. Couldn't even. We had this house and we had to sell it. And who would have predicted that the whole world would shut down in COVID?
It was a sight unseen sale to somebody migrating up from New South Wales. It was as bad as it gets, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. So when you're looking at your costings, do you mean in terms of, like, build or more supply?
Everything.
Yeah.
So just all costs, and then
you
basically
punch it up to the high, like the worst case.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time.
Costs
and
and
I think
revenue.
we always say you buy well, and that's where your job comes in. That is where usually you make a lot of your money, is in the buy-in.
Oh yeah.
So
especially for us, because we're not builders, right? So
love it.
Yeah.
One of my favourite quotes: "You make your money on the way in."
That's it. Agree.
Every day of the week, 100%. How would you know just for some listener feedback there? What did you take into? I heard you say before, like, you always love to buy well, non-negotiable. What constitutes a good buy in your eyes? Like, what are some key things you'd look at to understand the market you're in? And then, as you said, when a deal popped up, you're like, we could act quickly because we knew ABC. Like, was there any key things that you really try to understand to help any buyers out there?
Well, probably, firstly, I think I'm the top 1% of users on realestate.com.au. I get the email. I'm like, is that a good thing? I don't know, actually. But yeah, so obsessed with looking at what's going on around and knowing the area. But I think what can you do with the land? Is this something you can subdivide? So early on in the piece when we were buying large land holdings, we were able to subdivide those. So all of a sudden you've got one dwelling you can split into two and you've got two assets to sell. So right there you're building that. So where is that sitting? What can you do with it? So knowing what things have sold around you on that land holding and what sort of renovation have they had. So definitely, what can you do with the site is key number one. Yep. So looking at, going onto the council website.
Love it.
What can I build townhouses here? Can I build a duplex?
So you're looking at the zoning.
Looking at the zoning.
Yeah, love it.
Is it flood affected? Is there overland flow? That impacts obviously what you're going to get price-wise at the end of the day or what you can build there. So looking at that and, I think that would probably be the main thing.
What was the question again?
No, just some key things you look at going into the deal to realise if it's a good deal.
Look, I think, and we were chatting about this earlier too, like I think it's really exciting when you know that you've secured something and that we've done all our numbers and we know what we can do with it.
Deal
and
coming up.
So I think once you just apply those metrics,
an education thing, isn't it?
It is,
just and knowing what everything should be worth. As I said, we know every house, we know every street, we know every part of our little area we focus on.
Yeah.
So when something's coming up and the agent says, it's around this, we're like, we need to jump on this because we know this is a good deal because we know what we can get at the end of the day. So we bought 2 houses during COVID when the whole world was shutting down. We were out buying property because no one else was. So we got 2 awesome buys during that time because we had no competition and it was, who was buying then. So, but then in saying that, we also bought at the peak of the market last
we bought 2 peak
a year and a half ago, but we also got an awesome deal as well. Despite the different markets, there's always good buys in every market.
One of my favourites is people always ask, Matt, when's the best time to buy? One of my mentors told me very early on, if there's a deal, there's a deal. Yeah. Honestly, and you got it, but the key is you got to be able to quantify value on what makes a good deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where we get excited when we know we can quantify that value for us.
Yes.
And then we can see an opportunity that others potentially can't.
Yes.
And then
it's big.
Yeah, we go after it.
Yeah. I love it because I remember we had Greyer on here as well, and they bought a few things off market. Same thing. They were very quick when they knew the site was on. They've done their numbers already pre. Yeah. It's got you got to, because would you agree with me here? A good deal doesn't, good buyers know what a good deal is, and you got to take it off the table. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And look, and Rob and Andrew, we sometimes when they make a purchase, we're just like, what are they doing? Or they've overpaid, or we don't know what their strategy is. And then they deliver. They're exexecuting their own strategy. They know what they can do with stuff.
And it seems like both of you, like the success on this game, they call sharpening the saw. Before they even cut, the saw is sharp. It's ready to go.
And they move quick. And exactly.
Yeah. No, that's some really good tips there in terms of you need to know your market. I just love that when there's a deal, there's a deal. I love how you said that because, again, I've said it as well in our business. Some of our best buys are in hot markets, some of the best low. And there's always a story behind the dwelling. Hey.
Yes.
Definitely.
There's always doesn't matter what the rates are doing sometimes. There's deals out there. Yep. Deals out there. Okay, and then we're fast forwarding a bit now. You're really getting some traction. People are taking notice. Love the aesthetic of who's in charge of the Instagram, by the way.
That's me.
Yeah, aesthetic on point.
I don't think Francisco's ever logged on. But I'm not saying it's both of us. But
When did you start capitalizing, I guess, on creating Smout Property now, the brand?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
it was only later on. Because when we first did this, we never even told real estate agents we were developing. We never really said we're in the game. We just quietly went and bought our properties. And over time, we realised, and probably looking at Greyer, we're the importance of brand, the importance of marketing yourself. We've realised how important that is for us to now build, when we're trying to sell, people go, great, that's built by them and they've got a good reputation and we've seen their previous things. So it helps you get that buyer at the end of the day. So, we've realised the importance of brand and marketing. And so, probably 4 or 5 years ago, we went, right, we need to kind of put more focus on this.
And is the focus then, is the intention to build more audience around your products? Is that kind of what?
Yeah, I think it's that, and just, as you mentioned, Rob Gray, and talking to the Grays, like you talk to anyone in the building industry and they know who they are, and that's, they're great at marketing, and people know their product and want to buy it. So I think
it's that intangible reputation and influence piece for us, and I think it's there's so many people out there doing it. We want to just, I guess, put our brand to that, what we're doing, and I think everything that we've heard with people with what's resonated, that's what we're now trying to portray in that brand. So all those points of difference, and I think at the end of the day, we just want to deliver a really good product that people enjoy. And that's what we've tried to capture with we're not doing anything differently. It's now just about capturing that in a form that puts it on display for people.
Appeal to the masses, as you know. And I've spoken to a few different people on this podcast. There was a couple, the Render X crew, and they did some cool stuff, but they were heavy on marketing online, and the amount of people they'd get to the open, like their build, and then obviously had the Grayer lads, and we've had a few other mum and dad developers who do some really good stuff online, and it seems to be kind of the way to go to raise, I guess, exposure. Hey, and if you can get to that brand level where, hey, Smout Property, like for sale, and it's got your, that's when you know you're onto something, right? So
that's a plan we're trying, aren't we?
Well,
that's it.
Yeah. What's your kick? Because a lot of people are starting in that space as well. Like I see so many just, the new houses come up and they've got the page. Tips on marketing your project. Like, let's get into the marketing space, because you guys are really good. Like, what's some key tips around to just build the traction?
Well, obviously Instagram is the platform we use to try and capitalize on that whole thing, and that's seems to be working for a lot of developers. But this last house that we just sold, we put a lot of focus on the marketing, because our goal was we want to make this house go viral, and it seemed to go pretty well. It was considered, there was a few write-ups in the Courier Mail and Domain saying Australia's most Instagram worthy house. Wow, so we got that title. We got most views nationwide for our property. And we were, you can curate your marketing to an extent, but then also your product has to do the talking for you.
Exactly right.
Yeah, love that. That's good.
So we can only orchestrate so much, and we made sure we ticked all boxes with that marketing piece, but then it was up to the people whether they responded to it. And luckily they did, and they loved what we did. But yeah, when I guess we're creating that, we're like, right, we need to get in, see how much media publications we can get into. We did lots of video.
Like you hired videographers and stuff.
So we got videographers in to not only for our property video to put online, but also we did lots of reels in the property. We did videos with ourselves explaining the quality in the house and the design.
Great idea.
So just kind of coming from all different avenues of what.
So you'd get your own
people.
in-house, like obviously the agent would have had their video, and you also invested into for your love it.
We saw that as
a great tip.
We had
it's an investment, hey.
3 or 2. I can't
Wow.
Yeah. We
knew that one
videographer was great at doing that interview style and that beautiful kind of footage. So we're like, yes, let's use them for that. And then we knew that the other videographer was great at the captivating, like whiz bam,
real
for sale video. Yeah. And then we also did a few coming soon. So that really, the intrigue built up. So we did a couple of coming soon. 3 days out, 2 days out, 1 day out. And then bam.
I love it.
Yeah, and it built up a lot of traction, and people were like waiting for it and waiting, and we just showed them and released a few little...
Proper like an e-commerce product, isn't it? Like like that's what they do. It's like a marketing drop.
It is.
And look, the house was an epic place in that it had so many different aspects to it. Yeah. So the little clips really intrigued. I think, we had the helical stair and lovely marble, and it was really nice.
That's so cool.
So it was a beautiful place. And then I think, with the product, you've got to back it up with then walking through the doors and going, wow, this is in fact amazing. It's just not, trickery behind the camera. It is absolutely stunning. And I think that's what really then built further momentum, was everyone went through it and went, wow, this is actually
even
stunning.
better than what we're seeing online. Yeah.
Yeah, so it sounds like the hype's important, and getting exposure is very important.
And just even if a lot of those people are just seeing you on Instagram, like, I want to go see that house. They might not be your buyer, but they're all at those open homes.
Exposure.
You might get exposure, and who are they talking to?
Yes.
And there are real buyers in that room going, well, who is?
Yeah.
How
And
much
there's so many
competition
people
have I really
here.
got?
Yeah.
I've got to act quickly.
Yeah.
So
great feedback.
Yeah, and we sold that house in 10 days, and that was. That was a smaller block and a high-end spec, and that was moved pretty quickly.
Yeah. And it sounds like it's like you put it this way, right? It's an accumulation of all the effort at the end of the day. Yes, it's sold, but how do you know it wasn't because you put in the effort of launching and doing this and doing that? So sounds like
you just know you've ticked every box. There's nothing more you can do. Yep. I've exhausted everything, and at the end of the day, it's up to then the buyers. But as long as you've covered every aspect, then.
Quick little one project. You're coming to the end of the build, just because I know a lot of people are in this phase like right now. They want to like boost it, kind of thing. What's it? Do you have like a system and process you kind of got in your head now, where it's like, hey, all right, we're thinking of coming online here to realestate.com. So working backwards, like marketing, like do you have like a little process now? And
probably we're working on it. We're getting we're building up this Instagram thing. But
we know when people don't buy, like school holidays and
definitely.
So that's a good tip.
Yeah, if there's a public holiday coming up, or is it school holidays?
How we look at that campaign in detail.
We definitely do. We map it out and go, when are we releasing this? What's happening at this point? When's the perfect time? How many open homes till we have the best offers due by? Or we definitely map all that out. And we met our a videographer the other day and said, right, this is what we have coming up. We want to organise a coming soon video for this one.
We're 12 months out.
A sold video for this one.
Wow, love
definitely.
that. Oh, because you want to get a little bit of the actual build. Yeah.
So we want to build that from the word go.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
As soon as we're DA approved, we'll start that process.
And would you do some like education around it as well, or more like I know you mentioned you do some videos like talking and stuff like that, which I thought's really cool. Is that something you want to continue to do, or
we're going to try? With
do more of that. Because we're getting a lot of questions, aren't we?
We do get a lot of questions, and the same sort of questions. So we're hoping to maybe do a little bit of a build series with one of our properties coming up, just to try something different, and that'd for those people interested in the detail, what goes into it and the stresses. So we're going to give that a go. We haven't done that before. Probably our last property we just sold was the most we've put into property in terms of marketing, and saw the power of that. So we want to build on that and continue to do it. So
it sounds like nearly non-negotiable to rip into the marketing side if you're getting into this space. It's worth the investment.
It's definitely worth the investment. And I think, look, historically paper press used to cost a fortune, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of an offset now. Yeah. You're just doing it in digital form.
Yeah, 100%. And before we wrap up, I just want to, highlight for anyone in this space now, some are, I know, starting, they've got the site and they want to go through the process. Some are getting close to sale, so they're going to take a lot from the marketing. If we were to helicopter view over, the last decade and a little bit of your process and where you're going, what would be each year? I'd love to hear like your 3 biggest learnings of this decade-long process. Like everyone sees where you are now, but if there was 3 things you could really pass on to someone wanting to step in your shoes, what would that be, and what's some 3 key takeaways from each?
I think just as we said before, just start. Like I think people go,
take
the
action.
market, take action. It's people. I'm gonna want to should. What's that saying? Shoulda,
woulda, wanna.
That's the one. And people say, aren't you nervous, or aren't you getting to the market, or the market's going to dip? Just get in. I think that is, and with the Olympics on the horizon in 9 years, if you buy something today, it's worth more in 9 years. So even if your strategy is to just hang on to it, you've made money. So the right time to buy is when you're ready, and so just get in is probably number 1. Number 2, this is a long-term game, so you're not going to make money overnight. Be patient, work hard, and as we said, we were on the tools when we first started, and we were putting in the hard work. It's
not going to come easy.
It's not going to come easy. Yeah, and be patient. It will come, and we're reaping the rewards of that now for the hard work. But be patient, and you can get there quicker than we did. But it just can't happen overnight. So that, and also do what lights you up. For us, we have really realised that we love that high end resi space
Yes.
and building beautiful homes. And we love the architectural detailing, building spec homes in the same house over and over. Just, I don't think we'd keep doing what we're doing if that's what we were building. You need to have that passion for what you're doing, or you just won't stick to it and you won't put in the effort, because we live and breathe it. And as we said off air, like, this is our hobby as well. We, not just our job.
Genuinely enjoy it,
we genuinely love it. So what lights you up? If it doesn't light you up, you're in the wrong area. My brother's a developer, but in petrol stations and childcare, and I just could not think of anything worse. And, you know, he does really well in his field, but for me, that just does not appeal to our skill set and what we love. So, I think that third thing would be just what lights you up, where's your passion, what will keep you going, getting you out of bed every day.
Sounds like to compress all that, that's amazing. I really love all three of those. Sounds like put the blinkers on and focus on you. Don't listen to the noise. If you want something, take action.
Yes.
Second, it sounds like patience. Patience is key. Good things aren't happening overnight. Like, be prepared to put in the sweat equity, and you can reap the rewards, but it's not going to happen overnight. And the third one sounds like make passion your paycheck.
Yes.
Love it. What about you, Francisco? What's
Have I stolen
three?
them?
That's three absolute bangers.
Just sort of, I mean, everything we've spoken about today, right? So just, I think the buy well piece is critical.
Yeah.
Love it.
Know your market.
You can buy well in any market. Yeah.
Yeah. Buy well. Buy well and know your market. They're probably my 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And number 3, what would I say for number 3?
Get your finances sorted.
Yeah, finance. Yeah, that's
that's a good one. Yeah.
So understand that finance piece.
That's everything, isn't it?
It's absolutely fundamental to everything. Yeah.
Buy well, know your market. It's a finance game. Sounds like. Last one. How do you keep the marriage and family home in check with it? Is the feedback I get a lot. Like, I've dealt with clients. Like, it's tough. Like,
people always say to me, "How do you do it?"
Like,
you've got 3 young children. And
any key tips for family? Because a lot of families are doing this, and it's hard enough running a family. Like, what's some key things you've learnt? You know, I'm sure there's lots of ups and downs. So.
Absolutely, it's never smooth sailing, and it is a juggle. It really is. It can be stressful, especially when you. Different properties in the game that we're in. You've got stressful moments and busy moments and hectic moments.
Scenario modelling is always interesting. Family chat in the FISO. What are we going to do here? Yeah.
But when you love it, it's obviously it doesn't feel like work, but it can still be stressful. But just juggling it is real. But when you, as I said, you love it, you push through that. Whereas if it's a burden, then I think that's more stress at home. So.
You got to enjoy, because it is stress, but you got to enjoy good,
It's the good,
and I think that's the takeaway for us is we enjoy it. We enjoy kind of that. We
like
stress
being busy, and
we love being busy. And when we're not, we're kind of like sitting there going, "Oh, what are we doing next?" So I think there's a healthy side to that, and that's where we're at. It's positive for us. We get that question a lot. How are you doing it? Are you going to stop? Are you stressed? Are you? And we're kind of like, no, the opposite. We love it.
Yeah, so, that's awesome.
We want to keep going more and more. And with the space, we want to get into multi-res in the future. That's our goal.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We don't. Everyone's like, you're going to stop now. It's like, no, we don't want to stop. We're going this way.
Yeah. I like childcare and surveys.
Yeah.
I'm out there.
So we'll see some Smout buildings coming up soon.
Definitely.
I'm staying at the Smout. Yeah.
Look, I guess I've done, project management 20 years now, and the biggest stuff everywhere.
It's cool,
around the world. So, I've delivered premium res before, and I guess nothing frightens us in that space. So, I think then coupling that with then our own development business is a different equation. Yes. So we just need to figure out what we
want to
do next. Yeah.
Lastly, just for my person, I'm always interested in this question with people. You both you seem fit, health, like key habits to keep your mental health, and you both seem good energy kind of people. And it's anyone who wants to get into property, I'm telling you, it is up and down. You need to be a balanced human being. What's some key just habits in your life that you guys stick to?
Well, Francisco's at 5 a.m. every morning.
5 a.m.
CrossFit.
And I love that hour, get in, get out. Yeah. But I have to do that, otherwise, I go go a bit
Love
nuts, go a bit crazy.
So you're a CrossFitter, morning, train in the morning. Yeah.
I don't like training in the mornings, but that's getting up before the kids is the only time.
Yeah.
You have to make it work. That's it. When you've got three small children, you just have to, what works with your life, and you have to value it, as you said, and that discipline of getting it done, and you feel better for it, and you're more productive. So
100%.
For me, it's, the kids and I get out and we're going for a walk every morning and at the park, and just, getting fresh air and making a routine out of it is important. And
you structure people with like calendars and stuff, or like time, because you're pretty structured people, yeah?
Are you structured, honey?
I'm structured chaos.
Structured chaos, that's it. Chaos, yeah.
No, look, it's busy. It's really busy. Being consultant project manager, getting pulled from pillar to post.
Yeah.
All the time, as well as the competing interests. But I think we manage that really well between us in terms of Beck. You do all the feasibilities, the upfront, the site acquisitions, manage all the design, the designers, the interiors, and then the campaigns. And then I kind of deal with that bit in the middle in terms of the builder.
Yeah.
And we've got that sort of down.
We know our roles.
We know our roles and
each other for a lot of things.
Yeah, cool.
And then we come together, and we'll do a sort of little mini sprint session where we sort of collate a house and put it together in terms of that aesthetic and our likes and dislikes and what we want to see. And so that's actually been working really well. But
sort of having the end in mind.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it. And then understanding, look, I think another sort of big takeaway is that time in that resi space does slip for all sorts of reasons. So I think we try to run a schedule with our jobs, but unless you're in a specific phase.
Well, that's it. Being held up in council, we have a project in council moment, and it's taking way longer than it should. So that just pulls everything back. So you can't, you can have timelines of when you think things are going to happen, but they're forever changing and things are shifting and moving. So you just have to roll with that. So
expect the unexpected.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like we were supposed to get that DA out in 3 months. It's been 9 months. Arguing about the minutiae on a point. We got stuck in P&E court. When was that? That would have been 2017. An absolute no-brainer development, inner city Brisbane, character res 2 into 2, and BCC just said no. We just got stung. But look, I mean that's what you got to sort of plan for, that unexpected, and that ended up being a really positive thing because the market kicked after that. So.
Unreal. So anyone looking to get in the space and isn't familiar, it sounds like you need to learn. Like there's some very big in and outs in this game that you need to understand first. But as you guys said, once you sharpen the saw, it can pay off if you're willing to put in the work. So chat to these guys as a resource. Obviously got the business profile now. Not sure what the plans are. There's some exciting things coming in the future. I can't give too much away, but what's the page to follow again?
Yeah, so it's Smout_property.
Yeah. Keep an eye on what they've got planned. It's some pretty cool stuff.
We've got our family homes coming up soon too, which will be our most exciting.
Give us an idea on that one.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty amazing. We're very excited. So, and a lot of people who know us who are probably listening, going, we've heard this before, because we always say, this is our home. But this is definitely this is going to be it now. We're really excited. It's
as in like it's getting built, or you're going to market it.
We're about to start building it.
Oh, about to start building it. Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, so it's exciting.
So you're going to document all that, like awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. Keep an eye out for that one, and I'm sure you get plenty of tips there. But lastly, guys, just want to acknowledge you, obviously, for making the time, coming down. I was really interested to hear your story. It's honestly one of the most common questions is like people like yourselves, like people want to understand it, because it's one of those industries, hey, like the property flipping and developing space, where it looks kind of easy. It's like, there's mum and dad, they got kids. Oh, it should be a walk in the park. We'll just buy a house, build, and then sell. But there's so much behind the scenes that people don't understand. So hopefully this has given some key insight. And thanks so much for sharing. Most of all, you both were very, very mindful of time, but very appreciative in what you shared as well. There's some absolute ripping tips in there. So I'm sure people are going to be rewinding this set back. So thanks so much, guys, and I really appreciate it.
I hope you got something out of that.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
No, it was unreal. What I always like to finish on is just like a quick fast five. First thing that comes to mind, dwelling type and location. It can be anywhere in the world. Maybe we'll do one like when I ask you both could have different answers. That'll be interesting. All right.
So
yeah, well, the first one is holiday home. Any dwelling type, any location. Where would the holiday home be?
Oh, well, yeah, Noosa. I love the Gold Coast too.
It's our most common answer, honestly. Sunshine Beach, like Noosa.
Francisco's parents are at the sunny coast, so we're there a lot. And Noosa, or we actually love Peregian Beach as well. It's
good
a bit
spot.
Quieter and smaller. Yeah, we love that. So I would say, yes, there should probably be a Smout Property one coming in Noosa or Peregian at some point in the future. So that would be for us. Yeah, we just want something. Yeah, we can see the ocean. That's what Brisbane doesn't have. So
you agree with that, Francisco?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of if I was buying for an investment, say, that
was the next one. What about investment?
Anywhere for an investment.
Honestly, in construction, seeing whatever it was, 14% escalation last year. And then I think with the that macro spend on construction, especially out of health, aviation, defence, the construction market's not going anywhere. So I think there might be some res coming off the boil, but there's so much value in built form right now.
Yeah, 100%. What about yourself? Anything investment or any little locations you like?
Yeah, there's plenty of locations I like, but investment, I think, even where commercial spaces at the moment, we've had a look at that, and things are a bit unstable. We're seeing a couple, not that we're looking at that space at the moment to actually buy for ourselves, but there's a few good buys I think out there at the moment.
I agree.
The commercial sector is just going to
I agree.
Copper hammering now.
Yeah,
I think.
I think.
So I think you're going to see all the REITs, especially for the end of financial year, like reval their portfolios, and they're all going to no doubt have to factor in that increased cost.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think that commercial space is
keep an eye on it.
Be one to watch.
What about where would the girls' night, boys' night, party home, like a free weekend away? Where he's going?
Where
and what
we
sort
haven't
of
done that in a long time.
The thought of that
4
so
years,
nice.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Where would we go, Byron?
I was gonna say the same. Yeah, probably
good spot, like a little villa or something in the hill, or more the beach. Water goes.
Probably water goes.
Yeah, I'd say water goes.
It's a vibe, eh? How good is it down there?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Beautiful.
And then lastly, it sounds like we probably know where it is, but the forever home, is there? I mean, no one can ever say there is such thing, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I guess right now, where would the forever home be, you think?
Should we say where we're going to be living? Yeah. We bought a new farm, which is
good spot.
Beautiful,
great spot.
like near the river and the parks and the shops, and it's just going to be amazing for the family. So we're really excited.
Such a cool suburb.
So cool.
It's really nice, and we've just walked the streets and just felt that vibe, and it's just lovely. Yeah, the amenities just second to none.
Any cafes? Well, I'm always in Brizzy. Where should I go? Where's a good one?
Well, so we have to learn we haven't moved there yet.
Oh, really? So you got to plant yourself in. Yeah.
So we haven't got the hot tips there yet.
Yeah.
We always go down to Albion.
It's cool around there.
Couple of little Collingwood Black and Fonzie,
right.
and the Collingwood Black's just done the extension next door.
Yes,
really funky bar there. So we go down there a lot at the moment, but New Farm's kind of that.
All right. Well, if you're in New Farm and you know the spots, well.
Tell us, please.
Hit the Smout crew up.
We're going to find out about the Gold Coast too.
Yeah. Are we going to see you on the Goldie, you reckon, in the future?
Yeah, definitely.
We're looking. I think I spoke to you on Instagram, so I was asking about a site.
Oh, yeah. It's an interesting market. We're getting heaps from Brizzy as well. Heaps from Brizzy. Like they either go north to Sunny or they come to us on the south. So
all my family, I think I might have told you, all my family are from the Gold Coast. So I grew up coming here on weekends. I've always wanted to have something here, and we love it. So and Francis, you've got family here now too.
Cool.
My family's at Burleigh.
Sick. Good spot. Yeah. And then last one, what's one key tip just for buyers out there for 2023?
That built form piece for me is just hot tips. So if you can get something that has already, I think you've had land price escalate and then construction costs escalate, and then you're still seeing transactions going through without factoring that increase. So anything that's new built stock has to jump a huge percentage to cater for those increases. So new stock's going to come at a premium. So I think in that secondhand stock, especially anything that's newer, is going to be just value.
Yeah, 100%,
automatically,
100%. Put it yourself. Yeah.
I was going to just say, built form. I think, with construction, even getting a builder to lock in a fixed contract is near impossible.
Good tip. Great tip
at the moment. So something that's done or something that is locked in that you can get and secure is, I think that's where you should look.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. Again, I really appreciate your time, Becky and Francisco. Smout, check them out. Can't wait to see what's the future holds. But thanks again, guys.
Thanks, Matt.